Hello, everybody. My name is Mike DeWan with the Region Sports Network. I am joined by Maryville head football coach Brad Seiss. Super excited to get going. Coach, how are we?
Doing well. Spring's here and ready to get rolling.
Feeling pretty good. We'll start with last year. It was a fun year for the Maryville Pirates. Got over the hump, as many people said. You guys went to the state finals, lost to a very good team down there, but a lot of history was made. What was your overall, synopsis of last year's team, and of course getting over that semi-state hump?
We've been fortunate to stack together a bunch of really consistent seasons over the years, and we've been so close, falling in that semi-state round. Quite a bit, and for us to finally break through, with the leadership of an awesome senior class, yeah. and not only to break through, we broke through here, kind of in convincing fashion, beating Concord, but just for us to go to our first state championship game in 49 years, to kind of reinstill belief, within our program that reaching the pinnacle, reaching the top as possible. Couldn't be more proud of what our kids and our coaching staff did to make it to Lucas Oil and to go compete really well with New Pal in the state game.
Although history was made last year, it's always been consistency, like you said. How do you, as kind of the forefront of this group, no matter what players you're lining up on the sidelines or on the field, how do you maintain that consistency? Because it seems like on the media side or just fans in general, we could always kind of pencil Maryville to be in the mix for maybe competing for a sectional title, a regional title, and I guess how do you just maintain that level of success year in, year out?
For us, the standard's always been the standard, yeah. And whether it's been when I've been the head coach, or when Zach Wells was the head coach before or Jeff Yelton or Rick Wimmer all the way to Kenny Hopp, just the idea that Maryville is going to have a good football tradition. I think it really helps because no matter what age the kids are, coming up through our youth system or through middle school, or when they're on the freshman or JV team, they've typically seen success and have seen what hard work is, and I think a part of that is not only writing their story when it's their time to play, but more than anything, kind of being able to keep that standard of excellence going year by year.
What could you say about your previous senior group, the seniors of 2025, and we'll eventually turn the page talking about the 2026 group, but that group of last fall, how were they able, what could you say about them to, kind of take that standard and now put it on these upcoming seniors of 2026 and beyond?
I think when you look at the work that they put in, over their time at Maryville, it wasn't the, from a star power standpoint, we didn't necessarily, have like all these, big time, guys like maybe we've had in the past when you had the Kenneth Grants and people like that. We were actually a lot more undersized than we had been, in past years. But, great leadership, great work ethic, just kind of a scrappy, against the world, kind of mentality that they brought to the table every day. And it was an awesome group that they wanted to be the ones that helped us break through and set the standard even higher. And, they did that, and it's something they should be proud of, when they look back at their high school football careers.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Have you heard? Stratford-Manteau was voted Best of the Region 2025 in several categories, including Best Caterer, Deli, Flower Shop, Food and Grocery Delivery, Fried Chicken, Place to Buy Produce, Place to Buy Seafood, Loyalty Program, and Grocery Store. We're proud to be recognized by our community, and we're committed to continuing to deliver the variety, value, and convenience you deserve. See for yourself what it means to be the best when you shop at Stratford-Manteau.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Well, we can only imagine how fun it is to see players, your players, succeed on Friday nights over the course of their 4 years. I can only imagine also how it feels to see players succeed after. You talked about somebody like Kenny Grant, who's doing some things in the NFL. I saw you've taken a couple trips, going to some games, seeing them in preseason, as well as, kind of all over the place. What is an example like that? How does that make you feel as a head coach? And he's not the only example, but seeing Maryville Pirates succeed in higher levels, we even see some guys commit to play at the next level from your previous squad just now.
Yeah, it's really cool. Obviously to be a caliber player that some of our guys have been, you got to get, God's got to take care of you with some size and athletic ability and things of that nature. But for us to see guys move on to the next level and be productive players in college, and obviously in Kenneth's case getting drafted last year. It's really cool for our program. Obviously it kind of, sets a real high bar for kids to know that, like, hey, we've had a few guys do that, and it's possible if things go, right for you with, some size, some speed, things of that nature, along with having a great work ethic. And, it's really cool to be able to flip on a game and know that you got a guy that's going to be playing on Sundays, and we've had a lot of guys play on Saturdays, and even this year coming up in the draft, and with guys having the chance to get picked up as unsigned free agents, we'll have a chance for some guys that had successful college careers move on as well. So it's pretty cool.
Super cool indeed. We always like to stop at the logo as kind of a time to kind of reflect on the work that's been done here. A lot of greatness has happened on this field, as we mentioned, playing ball at the next levels, and that's kind of expected to be the case. Like you said, the standard is the standard. But for Coach, for you, your time here, how can you kind of sum it all up in the support group, kind of everything of what makes now Maryville football?
Well, when you look at us, it's a collective effort from our coaching staff, our administration, our teachers, and we do the best we can to set the table for our kids to have a really good football program. And whether that's what we've got going on with our strength coach to the resources that we're able to provide our kids here at Maryville, we're going to give them an opportunity with not only what we have at our school, but the competition that we have on a daily basis at practice. With kids wanting to be the next group up to be able to contribute. I think all of that combined makes us have a chance to have a good squad year by year.
All right, so what about this next group, Coach? We turn the page now to 2026, a star-studded cast, at least from what we see kind of coming back from that state runner-up squad. What can you say so far from these early parts of the offseason, or I guess kind of preseason, we could almost say, for this upcoming team? Yeah,
first and foremost, you got to kind of turn the page on what was a really good season, and you don't want to have any sort of hey, we've arrived, kind of mentality. And the kids have worked really hard in the weight room and done a good job. We'll start our first spring install tonight. With all our guys that are coming back and the 8th graders that are coming into the program. When you look at us offensively, having Michael Hill and Cameron Jordan back, probably the two, premier skill kids in Northwest Indiana, very dynamic. Michael, can beat you with his arm and beat you with his legs, and Cameron, he ran the ball really well and actually was our receptions in a season all-time leader last year through the air as well. So, having those two guys back, definitely sets the stage for us to hopefully have continued success offensively. Defensively, got pieces back on the D-line, have pieces back at linebacker. Need to replace our secondary. But again, over the next couple months in the spring and then in the summer, just trying to figure out where everybody fits, and be competitive once the season starts.
That's exciting. And then looking at the schedule a little bit, yes, of course, always the Battle of Broadway. We open things up week 1. Week 2, talk to us about your future opponent, and then as well as you guys bumped up in 6A. So, we got some games to play, of course, before week 2 and, of course, before the sectional. But now a sectional in the 6A sectional 1 where instead of now playing in the previous sectional where it's all new opponents, you only see them once a year. Now you'll have, a couple familiar opponents in the new sectional.
Yeah, it's getting to start the year playing Andrean is always cool. Being here at the Battle of Broadway.
Yep.
Obviously, Chris has done a great job, with Andrean over the years. Week 2, we're going to Lafayette. Jeff, we're going there we're playing them for a few years now. Pat's done a great job at Lafayette. Jeff, they're always a contender at whatever class they've been. They've been in 5A and 6A. We have a lot of familiarity with them. Playing them in the sectional years back when we were in 6A. So that'll be a good, couple games to get us, ready for DAC play. And we start right away with Crown Point. Obviously they've been really, really good and have done an awesome job, over the years since Coach Buzz has gotten there. And, moving up to 6A, we know what 6A football is, being in it in the past. Better depth and, obviously bigger schools and all that. So, now knowing that a few of our opponents will have seen in conference play and then Lafayette Harrison added, to the mix in that sectional will definitely make it much more difficult. But, it's where we're at. We're embracing it and we're going to get after it.
I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Company's Insurance Professionals, Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
All right, we got some rapid fire questions to know you a little bit more, Coach. You ready?
Yep.
Give me a couple favorite players growing up. I know you were a fine ball player back in your day.
You know what? When I was really little, kind of the first person that I remember was Rocket Ismail from Notre Dame. Growing up in Warsaw, obviously the landscape of getting every game, it wasn't like it was now, where you can pretty much get any game you want. So you always saw Notre Dame games on Saturdays. my dad was the head high school track coach at Warsaw when I was little, and he would have been playing. I remember going to the NCAA Nationals and watching him run in the indoor nationals and track. So that was kind of my first, person that I really liked. From the pro game, just because I played a lot of sports, Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson, just kind of what they did, were guys that stood out. And in my youth, that was the Bulls' heyday. So liking Michael Jordan and the Bulls and all that. So I kind of liked it all.
How can you not? Did you have any superstitions as a player, or even in today's day and age as a coach?
You know what? I'm really not that person. I'm not the guy that eats the same thing every Fridays or wears the same thing or does the same thing. I'm more of a believer that the work that you put in, through the week and through the season is going to help your team get better. More of a process-oriented guy. So having those quirky kind of weird things that I do, it's not really kind of in my DNA. I like to think I'm just kind of a normal guy.
All right. What about if you were to have maybe 3 artists on your pregame playlist, who would they be?
Ooh, I'm not really a music guy.
You just keep it silent?
I kind of just go with whatever my wife and kids have for playlists on Spotify. But
so who knows? Kind of a shuffle button.
Yeah, I'm not that guy that's got my headphones in all the time or anything like that. I'm more of a person that wants to keep moving around, talk to people, kind of get a feel for, how everybody is, leading up to the game. I feel kind of just sitting there, on your own with your music. You don't really have a good feel for what's going on.
Gotcha. What about favorite food?
Favorite food? Yeah, you can't go wrong with tacos.
Okay.
I got 4 kids. It's something that goes well with all our family at home. I've kind of realized now it's not necessarily as much about what I want compared to what everybody wants. So you can't go wrong with anything Mexican, in my opinion.
What about a movie or just sports movie?
When I look at sports movies, Remember the Titans.
Good one.
None of our kids ever have seen The Program. The Program was a really good one. When I remember growing up with, had like Latimer was the steroided out defensive line, and they had the running back Jefferson that came from more of the urban environment, and they all kind of mixed together playing college football, and I think that was where I truly kind of knew that I wanted to be a football coach and really do all that. When I went to college and played at Ball State, you had guys that came from every walk of life, whether had a good upbringing or rougher upbringing, and the program kind of showed what college football is, having different backgrounds coming together and playing football.
Sounds like we need a team bonding movie night this off season. What about favorite Maryville football tradition? Anything that you may have instilled or something that the guys do to gear up for game day?
We do some things in the summer that I think are really, really fun. We play paintball every year, the seniors versus the coaches. Us coaches have won every single year.
Let's keep it going.
And then we always have a cookout at my house. The kids, seem to enjoy that. We have a pretty stringent, summer conditioning program where we run a lot and want to have our guys in good shape for when the season starts. And one thing that we do before that, and coaches don't come up with anything on their own. This is an old school Ben Davis thing that they did back in the day with their old strength coach and Coach Dullahan. We have the kids all line up by class in alphabetical order. They have to do it on their own. Every kid walks up, says their name. Everybody repeats their name. One thing that I think is really, really important, even though we have 125 plus kids in our football program, I think it's important for me to know everybody's name from the best player to the youngest guy that maybe is lower end of the depth chart.
Sure.
I think everybody needs to feel important, because every kid in football, whether you're the guy that gets the ball every play or an important piece on the scout team, everybody plays a big role in what we do with our football program.
That's well said, Coach. And as we cross the goal line, any final words, big dates coming up? We talked about the summer, but I guess overall, just gearing up for what's, again, the standard's the standard. You know, a lot is expected once again of a Maryville team that's going to be real tough come the fall. But what can final words on this upcoming squad?
Yeah, we're just we're taking every single opportunity that we have day by day. You know, whether it's getting a good lift in after school or an install in the spring. You know, obviously it gears up a little more in the summer, going 4 days a week for us, and being able to pad up a few times, go scrimmage some other opponents. We go down and scrimmage, Brownsburg and East St. Louis and some of the big dogs to humble us a little bit. We'll go to team camp at Wabash College and see some schools like Westfield there. So we're just looking forward to getting rolling and getting the 2026 season started.
The Pirates are setting sail real soon on what's expected to be a fun 2026 for Coach Seiss. I'm Mike DeWan with the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Sometimes the hardest part of improving your business isn't coming up with a great idea. It's knowing what to do with it. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services is ready to meet all your industrial and commercial construction needs. Whether it's a small build-out or a complete construction project, Chester will design, build, and finance. Our team eliminates multiple contractors, providing you a single point of contact while staying within your budget. Chester Inc. Architectural and Construction Services, turning your ideas into realities.
Mortorano's Roofing is a family-owned business established in 1986, celebrating over 40 years. We have completed over 5,600 roof replacements, repairs, and chimney projects, focused in Northwest Indiana and Southwest Michigan. Mortorano's Roofing has always put family, friends, and customers first in our mission to complete roofing projects with the greatest care and consideration as if it was our own. Give them a call today for a free estimate at 219-872-8246. Mortorano's Roofing. Protect your past, present, and future roofs for you and your loved ones and your legacy.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
I was born, raised, started the family, and worked my nearly 30-year career in law enforcement, both as a local police officer and as an ATF agent, all here in Lake County. I promise to lead differently, restore the public's trust in the Sheriff's Department, and to build a world-class police organization that is focused on serving you. In this election, Lake County residents have a different choice, a better way. I'm Jason Gore, and I approve this message.